Okay, here we are. Welcome to Goddess Vibrations. I am here live with Irene Webb, all the way from the UK, and we are going to talk about melt into your body, sensual massage. And Irene describes herself as a elemental. Help me out, Irene.
Sensual elemental.
Sensual elemental, and you're the founder of the first Oilathon. Is that right?
Yeah, I called it the first international body lotionathon or Oilathon.
Okay, let's start there. Tell me about that, because that's very intriguing. I want to know what that is. And also tell me how you got started in this work.
Okay. Well, how I got started in this work is I went to a big women's conference, which was incredible for me. And when it was all over, I crept back afterwards into the hall, and I'd managed to speak to the person who ran the whole thing in front of everyone earlier in the day. And I remember saying something like sensuality in my, whatever I said to her, I said something like sensuality, whatever that is. And afterwards, I was going crazy at myself, like, why on earth did you say that in front of 500 women? That is so embarrassing. And so I crept back to the hall and I just made a kind of vow to I found the little seat where I'd been in, and I just made a vow that I was going to have a year of the senses, that I was just going to like go for it in my life in every way that I could think of. And which ended up with me starting to train as an aromatherapist and learning massage and aromatherapy essential oils. And so that's kind of how I started. And it's a very long training. I'm just actually in the middle of revising for my exams right now. But what happened was pandemic happened last March here, massive lockdown as in many countries. And I just thought, I was meditating one day and I just had an image of the globe came into my head, and it was dark, but it just had like silver lights all over it. And I just knew that every light was a woman, a bit like how, you know, sometimes you're dreaming something and you know what it means, kind of, it was a bit like that. And I knew that every sparkling light was a woman massaging her own body all at the same time. Oh. So, and in that second, I thought, that's what I could do. And I literally organized an event teaching self-massage within 4 days. That was like on a Wednesday or something, and we did it on a Saturday. And I've just been doing them ever since. And that's literally how it started.
Wow, divine intervention and inspiration, it sounds like. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very much. Very much.
Beautiful. So what did folks do who registered for this Lotionathon, Oilathon?
Yeah, I mean, I called it that so that people had the choice, because some people really prefer one or the other. And so I just thought I thought everyone can just bring whatever they like. And I started making a few little playlists and working out how to do it. And I sort of thought about, how do I massage people on the couch? How can I adapt that to make it for the body and make it the most effective sequence for people? And it just worked from there. It's just been lovely. In fact, I want to teach you something.
Yeah, well, I'm ready to get started whenever you are.
Yeah, should we do it? Yeah, I said to you earlier, should we do
that? Right in.
And just give people a flavour of what I do.
And I, as I was saying just before we went live, I have some rose infused oil, which I thought would be very lovely, since we're talking about the feminine and the senses and melting into the body. And this is, rose is kind of like unconditional love. And this is made by one of my former guests, Tiffany, who talked about boundaries. So how to enforce boundaries. And she's a massage therapist. So I love the synergy in this show.
Lovely. Yeah, really nice. Really nice. I've got almond oil here.
Okay.
It's got rosewood in, actually, and some ylang ylang, so it's very nice. All right, so you just want a bit. We'll have a bit of music, and I'll just talk you through it. Let's just do it.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna hang on before I start. We're gonna focus on. Let's just focus on one arm to start with, and the aim is just to be really, really slow, as
Mhm.
slow as you can go. Natasha, how slow can you go?
I'm a Taurus. I can go pretty slow.
Let's see, let's see. All right, let's go.
I don't know if you know any Tauruses in your life, but we've been known.
My father.
Oh, your son. I have a Taurus son too.
Ah, cool. Okay. All right, here we go. All right. Oh, what is it? Okay. So you want to come just stroking down. And you kind of want as well to be like feeling every little nook and cranny. Like, I love the inside of my elbow. You know, I've never. Oh my god! Or my wrist is amazing. You know, that kind of quality to it.
That's amazing, because normally what I'm thinking is like, oh, my elbows are so dry. Let me get over there.
Yeah, exactly. And rush right through it. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
quickly can I spread the oil across my dry skin? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And like when I'm doing the sessions, we do them really slow. And at first, some people I can feel, I can sense they're thinking, you know, but by the end they're like, I'm gone. I'm just totally gone. It could, and also a good trick is like to think about going slowly down and then trying to go even slower coming up.
Okay.
Can I do that even slower?
Mhm.
And maybe people at home will be doing this right now. It'd be really cool.
So I can see how this is really could be a popular thing to teach people during the pandemic.
Yeah, and you know what? It's true, and it's been interesting because some people are like, it's something, it's proved to me something which I thought for a while, and that is that some people don't want to go to a body worker at all.
Ah,
So I think there are some people who've come and who I do lessons with who, you know, they don't want to go and see anyone, and they like this, the relationship like this, you know, like in a one-to-one setting, which I do groups and I do one-to-one. So it works in both ways, and it works for people in that particular thing who just don't really want to actually see somebody. Maybe it could be like a stepping stone to going to see someone else, or maybe not, you know, just depends how they feel. Okay, I want you now just to like close your eyes,
mhm.
just really stop and feel the sensations that you've produced, one arm compared to the other. And when you do that throughout the body, it's really, really interesting. You can actually feel yourself, you can feel parts of you vibrating. It's really amazing. Should we just quickly do the other arm to even ourselves up?
I already put a little bit here because I had an oily right hand, but it's interesting when you said tune in, because I felt like this whole arm was kind of melted and like really, I don't know, just like smoothed and soothed. And this one was just like, it was like
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
heavier, like not heavier, but like almost hollow. It felt almost hollow compared to this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now I need a little bit more oil. Is there a particular oil that is better?
I particularly love almond, but I don't know. There's so many different ones, and they've all got fabulous qualities. So I think it just depends. People try around for ones, and obviously some people have nut allergies and things, so they could get maybe a seed oil. That's good.
Mm-hmm. So discovering the different parts of your arm, basically the inside of your elbow, the like loving on your wrist.
Yeah, absolutely. Just really feel every little bit. Don't rush by. Um, you know, I know everybody wants to, like, sometimes you get out of the shower and you want to hurry. That happens, but it's so beautiful. Like today, I just did a whole hour of this, just top to toe, and it's just amazing. It's just really, really amazing. Um, to just take the time and completely melt into yourself. And I do everybody part, apart from, I don't do the breasts, I don't do the sexual area. I do it as if it was like a massage where you'd go and have the towel over you and that kind of thing. I do it in that way. So I'm not tantrically trained or anything like that. So I do what I know in the best way I can for people.
So people do one-on-one sessions with you and group sessions.
Yeah, I do. Let's turn this music down. I do both. I do both, and both are fab. Sometimes it can be wonderful when there's a group, and I do group events, and I'm starting to do group events with other people, with other practitioners, sort of making it like a little afternoon, which is terrific. And but I also do, like, as I said, one-to-one, which is really special as well. If people want to do that, it's beautiful, and I feel very. I just really hold a beautiful space for people. So yeah, that's what I enjoy.
What's really striking me as somebody who is
I just lost the sound there.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can. I'm sorry. I just yeah. I got you.
What is really striking to me is that as a healer and a caretaker and a mom of two, of somebody who's always caring for someone else, I know the benefits of self-care, and yet when it comes to something like this, like self-massage, or even just simply applying lotion or oil out of the shower, like you're saying, I do rush through it. And I like move so fast that that's probably splattering all over me because of that morning practice. And I don't know why I think when it comes to yourself, you don't take the time. Like if I was applying it to someone else, I would take the time and I would do the massage, but I don't think to do that for myself.
Yeah. I tell you one thing that you could try, and that anyone watching this could try. And this is something that I just learned through doing it on YouTube, because you've got a group of people, or it's one-to-one or whatever, and your face is the big face, and sometimes people don't want to have their camera on, understandably, and sometimes they do, and they say, what do you think about how my technique, or whatever, kind of thing sometimes. But often they might have their camera off, which is perfect. And but so I'm massaging, I've got the music on, and I'm trying to demonstrate it as best as possible, and I can see myself. And I used to feel like super buzzed after the sessions, like really amazing, but like something extra. And it just took me absolutely weeks and weeks to work out what it was. And it's because I could see myself. So what I did was I got a mirror and I brought it into the room, and I just did it by myself with just the mirror. And I had the same effect. So I would say to anyone, get a mirror, get a really big mirror, and make it like a really beautiful part of your day, and see how slow you can go.
I love that. I think, it's easy to, again, not pay attention to ourselves, not even look at ourselves in the mirror, because we're told that that's egotistical or arrogant or things like that, or we just don't want to see what we see in the mirror. And we can even forget how beautiful we are, right? We can forget how our eyes glisten and glow. And I had that awakening this morning too, where I just happened to look in the mirror and I was surprised by what I saw. And I was like, oh, hey there. Hey, you. Like, where have you been? Focusing on everyone else. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's the thing is, that is ultimate self-love. And I really think this is that is what I'm doing is all about. It's like a total bodily embodiment of that. And so I say things on it where it's like about think of this as like a bowl of kindness, and we're just going to spread it here and let it sink in, and things like that, because that's really ultimately utterly what it's about. And I thought at the time, that idea came, and I thought, oh wow, this is lovely, I'll give it a try, just see what happens, kind of thing. But actually it's really grown in me, and I feel a number of things that like I probably will go back to working hands-on to people, but actually I want to teach this like in real time with people, as well as on Zoom. I've got a real image in my head of like trying to get a lot of like, say, elderly ladies who live near here, local to me, to do it. And just, that, I don't know, just that kind of thing. I just sort of feel it would be really beautiful as say like going to yoga or all sorts of other things that people do for relaxation. This I just really love it, and people really feel so relaxed at the end. And you know what I think, that what I like as well is that it's giving people a skill, like some people who would be like a body worker would feel really what's the word, kind of like kind of worried, like maybe they're going to put themselves out of business. Why would I teach people? But I don't feel that way about it, because I think that there's always going to be people who are going to want to come and see bodyworker. Plenty. You don't turn people away. But there's some people who are A, never going to want to, or B, why shouldn't they know how to do it themselves if they just sometimes just want to do it at home, but do it well, do it effectively, kind of thing. So I mean, I've just done the arms there in a very simple way with you, but there's lots and lots of detailed things that I do when I do the calls, and I just feel that sort of like puts the power back in people's own hands about their own health, how they look after themselves, and I feel very strongly about that. That it's a really good thing.
We have that in common. I teach self-care skills too, because I feel that like you said, there's always going to be millions of people who are going to need someone, and I'm not trying to get clients dependent on me. I want them to learn the skills and then be off and running or flying.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want, in a way, you don't want people coming back again and again and again. Yeah. Actually, you don't. Like you said, that dependency thing, I find that quite worrying, and I think that's got to be very carefully handled, and you actually do want people to feel like they can really look after themselves, and actually then start to like help others, kind of things.
And not to say that, we don't all need somebody to talk to or somebody to practice things with. That's very natural and normal. I mean, I have some long-term clients that we just do maintenance check-ins, but when you're actually trying to get over something, or like you said, learn to calm down the nervous system, because I'm noticing now that you got me started, I don't want to stop. Like I'm putting oil on my arms now, and I will keep massaging it. And then now I'm thinking, like, all those years of team meetings and all the things I had to sit through, like, I wish it would have been socially acceptable to be doing self-massage. I'm usually there hair or doing some kind of something with my fingernails, massaging oil into my fingernails to try to, like, get past the time or self-soothe while I'm listening to all this tense stuff.
That would be so cool, wouldn't it? Team meetings, everybody just massaging themselves as they're listening in.
Don't touch your neighbor. That's policy. But
hands on yourself.
But seriously, even in schools, I mean, I have 2 children and I worked in public schools for 10 years. And, one thing they need to learn is consent, and how beautiful to like redirect their touch to themselves, and to, to feel that touch for themselves, and then use that even as a way to teach them about unhealthy touch from others.
Yeah,
So
true.
in sexual abuse prevention, like I could really see that even having a niche there.
Yeah, true. Very true. Yeah. I've tried this on my son, and he was really nice.
How old is your son?
He has just turned 17, so
Okay.
you know, he kind of went, yeah, it's good, it's good. Which is like really complimentary.
Yeah, yeah, I know how that goes. It's true though, even with you know, mine are 10 and 13, so we were in the height of the stress with the homeschooling during the pandemic, and it was really hard for them to transition to at home learning in the format that the public school was kind of dishing it out. It just was a lot of extra learning curve and trying to keep up with the academic work. It was really hard, and my son struggles with focus anyway. And so at some point I had to lie him down on the rug and massage his scalp and just relax as I read to him his thing so that he could absorb it into his brain and like kind of tap his head and massage him. But it relaxed his nervous system enough where he could actually listen to the story and the information could sink in. Because I think a lot of what people don't realize is when you're under stress, whether you're an employee or a business owner or whatever during this pandemic, or you're a student, is that you're not going to be very productive and you can't get things done because your body is so under stress. You can't focus, you can't think straight. And I know for me, every business that I go to, it feels like the customer service is so terrible because people are just distracted, they're preoccupied, you know, they're not on their best selves, they're probably not getting enough oxygen with the masks 8 hours a day, all of this stuff. But this is something, as you said, that could just, it's just a small thing, but it can do such a big, it can have such a big impact on the nervous system.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, it's it's something that when I first started to learn massage, you know, and then receive, you know, you're practicing on partners and you're, you know, in the rooms there at the studio, and I can remember I was a pretty wired person,
Uh,
and for me that I found that quite hard actually to receive. And
uh,
so what I found interesting doing this whole practice is it's just made me take receiving to a whole other level for myself. So like, so today I can do that for myself for an hour and just absolutely just go, wow, that was wonderful, you know, like, or receive the view of myself in the mirror
mhm.
while doing it at the same time. You know, it's like slowly, slowly, I feel my level of receiving in all of this is just expanding. Um, and that's what I hope for other people as well, that it will for them too.
That's a beautiful point, and I work with that a lot. I think a lot of us that went to Mama Gina's also were. I mean, that was literally my intention for registering for Mama Gina's course, was learning to receive. I was like, just like it's so uncomfortable for me. I immediately feel like I have to give something back, you know, to receive. And so I thought if I could just learn this skill, like life would be so much easier. I'd be, you know, it would be so much easier. I'd receive more money probably. I wouldn't be so overwhelmed, so overworked, all of these things. And so it's a simple concept, even as simple as saying thank you. She says, you know, say thank you. It's true. When you get a compliment or receive a compliment. But yeah, but I never really thought of this as a practice of receiving, and then watching yourself in the mirror. It's really triggering the subconscious mind too. And that's what I work as a hypnotherapist as well. So I'm really, you know, doing a lot of work at reprogramming the subconscious. But when we have affirmations or we have visual representations of things, a deeper trigger to do that. So I can see how, you know, this mirror practice is reinforcing it along with the touch. So you're feeling it, but you're also watching it. It's a synergistic thing, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I tell you what else influenced me. You'll say, I don't know if you've ever done hallucinatics. It's like this movement based thing. They call it like unexercised exercise.
Mm,
And it's very, you know, like say you're lying back on, say like on your back, you've got your feet on the ground, your knees bent, and then you just do these very tiny movements. They're hardly anything. And then you might lie on your stomach and do, you know, they'll call out and do this. You're hardly moving. You might lift your feet or everything maybe like an inch off the ground or 2 inches, and then bring it slowly. But everything is about how slowly bring it down, slowly do this. OMG, it's just like, my goddess, it's just amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. And that's what I think I started to do that maybe a fortnight before this idea of this doing this and the Oilathon, and it really informed everything for me of like, make it slower, do it utterly like to the point where people are going, look, stop already, I want to go quick, I just want to get it over with, you know, like, you know.
Well, and there's the key right there, folks, to sexual tension. Build that passion and that like ultimate release. You have to like go slow and like just build up and let the nervous system relax down, you know. And I can see that. I can totally see that. And then if we're complaining about, you know, our lovers not doing that, then are we doing that for ourselves? Like, are we actually, again,
Right.
with receiving, feeling that we're worth taking the time, and we're worth, like, are we taking the time for ourselves? Are we embodying what we're asking for? Are we embodying what we're teaching, you know, if we're the coaches and healers? And so it's, gosh, so many different practical and spiritual applications for this. And I see a comment from Rich, he says, as a Qigong instructor, I teach self, this is my partner, as a Qigong instructor, I teach self-applied massage as part of my practice, along with movement, breath work, and meditation, but self-applied massage has been the least emphasized. This is inspiration to go so much deeper and slow down much, much more. Thank you. And it's so true, because I see him doing the work, and he'll say after his classes, sometimes give yourself a hug, or, you know, like give yourself a massage, and it's more like a tapping massage, but how often? And I think that because sometimes there's some shame, you know, where it's especially if you're a woman doing it, you're looked at as maybe being provocative, or, you know, there's maybe some sexual shame that keeps people from doing something like this in public or in a group.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that's why, I mean, as I said, I haven't done it live in my group, and it'll be fascinating when I do. What will it be like? I don't know, but I'm sure there'll be levels of that. And some people might go, oh, I can't come to that. But I'm just going to plug away, because I just know this is really, really good for people, like totally nourishing. And it is really, really good for people. They're mentioning there, like the spiritual aspect of it. There have been moments when I've been doing the group sessions, and, you know, I know the order and how I do it. And, you know, I get carried away, to be honest with you. And like, I literally feel like a sort of divine feeling in me, you know, kind of thing. And I can see everyone's happy, and we're doing, you know, we're moving on to this now, we're moving on to whatever, you know, let's do this. And I demonstrate it, and then I play the music and we do it. But there is a moment of like, there have been some real kind of transcendent moments, actually, and they've been beautiful, really, really beautiful. So I definitely think it's like a practice for connection to spirit, definitely, without a doubt.
I could even see, yeah, the way that you're describing it, I could see it as a part of even self-hypnosis, getting yourself into a trance state. And like you were saying before, noticing your elbow. And even, you know, one thing I know Rich does in his practice with Qigong is he adds in affirmations to the movement. So he's doing the traditional Qigong, but adding in, you know, breathe out love, or I am love, I am confident. I could see even doing the self-applied massage, which is movement. You're moving energy, you're touching your body and moving the energy, and then saying your affirmations, whatever it is that you're literally wanting to absorb into your body, and seeing it, you know, absorb in with the oil. This is all really powerful mind body stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And he was saying about breath work, and there's a friend of mine who does breath work, and we're going to be working together soon, doing a joint thing with it. We've tried that out on each other. We've done like just Zoom calls for us to kind of perfect how we offer it, and it's really, really powerful, very powerful, just doing that together. So
what have been some of the most surprising results that you've seen from this for yourself, your colleagues, your participants, after having this inspiration to do?
Um, I think in one way, like it just grabbed me, and I just went with it. And I think I think my husband was really really surprised at how he just could see, wow, she's doing this, she's going to go for
She's
this.
lit up.
Yeah, yeah, and he was really stunned and and thrilled for me. It was great.
Aw,
Um, and and he's done it. He's done it, and he really really liked it.
yeah.
Um, and I just think like lots of people who've come have had all sorts of different feelings. Some people have felt like their inner child has been by them. Some people, I do quite a big section on the stomach, and a lot of people who I've spoken to haven't ever had, when they've gone for a massage, have never actually had the stomach massaged. And I know there's quite a lot of, some schools don't teach it and that kind of thing. And like my tutor was going crazy, going, "You've got to teach that. It's like disgusting not to," and all this kind of thing. But some people who've done that have just gone, "Oh my gosh, it's because so much tension, anxiety." And emotions, everything. There's so many nerves going through all of that area. So many people have had really, really profound effects from just that section alone.
I learned the hard way how powerful that area is, because my very first massage ever was when I was 18. And I had just broken up with my high school boyfriend. We were together almost 4 years, and he had gotten me a gift certificate for a massage for Christmas. And of course, I went to cash it in at his gym after we had broken up. So it was, but I wasn't going to miss this free massage. So I went, and I thought it'll be good. I just went through this breakup, even though I got to go in with him to his gym. And I thought it'd be a nice, like, nice massage. And I was an athlete, so I'd often used to have massages from like teammates, knocking out like the sore muscles or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was not a soothing massage. She actually spent half of that massage rolling my stomach, like rolling. And I was like, it was so uncomfortable because I had just gone through a breakup. There's so much emotion and pain and all kinds of stuff in this area, tension, like you said. And I felt nauseous. I was like feeling angry. Like I was angry at her probably for like a decade afterwards because I had such different expectations. But I was like, whoa, there is a lot there. And that's a very sensitive area. And I know also when I was pregnant and I was in labor, my mom was telling me to do circles. I don't know if it was clockwise or counterclockwise. I can't remember, but
always
clockwise.
Yeah.
And to help kind of with labor and soothing the baby.
Actually, it's clockwise if you're looking down. Yeah. It's clockwise if you're looking down. But if someone's looking at you, it wouldn't be. But if you look down, you're doing it clockwise, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I could see, because I think a massage, I've had many, many massages since then, and not very many people have, like you said, touched the stomach, but now I'm prepared for it. But yeah, it is a very sensitive area, and I understand like things need to be worked out of there. But also when you loosen up the stomach and that tension there, you can also take deeper breaths. So I can really see that being a beautiful synergy with your friend that you're going to do some breath work with too. If you can loosen up that area, get people to take these more expansive breaths, which then turns on the relaxation response in the body. Then we shut down fight or flight. Boom, we are healthy and our immune system shoots up during a pandemic. It's all good.
Win-win.
You're just saving the world.
Yeah, win-win.
Yeah.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah. So what kind of music do you normally suggest for people to do it? Is it anything they like, or do you have slow music, or does it matter?
Yeah, I suppose anything people wanted they could do really. But when I do my list, I tend to do stuff without words. Because I think people can get hooked onto that.
Yeah.
When I actually massage in person, I just tend to do it with nothing, just silence.
Okay.
That's what I tend to do. But But when I've done this, I thought, no, this would be nice. But I deliberately chose no words. So there's nothing to hook onto. So you're literally with your skin. I didn't want people to float off somewhere, except like float, go in, melt in, and then float off, if you know what I mean. I didn't want them to just be up here. I don't know about you, but like mastery for me was just unbelievable. I walked into that room that first weekend, and
I just, oh my God, it didn't take me long to realise that I literally lived up here, you know,
Right.
just totally, and I was just like, I was blown away, absolutely blown away, and totally, totally life changing, and made me, you know, still try to come in and melt in here, you know, it's over to change a long time of way of living. It's quite hard to change that.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. That was my second reason for going to mastery, was the embodiment piece, because I run with a big group of women who have been to mastery. So I've been hearing about it for many years, and the work of Mama Gina and Mama Gina School of Womanly Arts. So just being around those women, I feel like I absorbed some of it. And then I probably had some natural tendencies of myself, just being a Taurus with Libra rising. I'm Venus. But I went in there because I'm studying spirituality, sexuality in my PhD dissertation. And I have, like you said, being in the head, very much in the head about even these topics. But I thought, I've never been taught to really embody it. Like it's like, even then it's a little shameful to be teaching the body. And Mama Gina has some unconventional methods, but they're beautiful and they're very high integrity. And I thought she did it very well. And this is coming from somebody who's a licensed marriage and family therapist, who's trained, you know, with very high ethical standards, and a board, you know, looking over my shoulder to make sure that I am very appropriate with people in vulnerable spaces. And so I have this critical, you know, like I was watching her, I'm like, nah, she's the real deal. She knows what she's doing. I feel totally safe with her. And even in that big group of women, the way that she was able to create that trust. And I feel that, you know, when we are, when you're doing these self-massage techniques, it can be a very beautiful first step for people who have experienced some sort of sexual trauma or abuse, even physical abuse, where where touch has been confused. Their nervous system is confused by touch. And I know that for me, that is me. I was sexually abused from a young age. And so when you go into these spaces, even with myself, you know, there can be, it takes a while to unwork some of those panicky feelings, or even silence. Being in silence can be hard, you know, because there might be silence when you were getting abused because it's a secret, or be quiet, don't let anybody hear, or things like that. And so I love your suggestion about the music and not having words, because to be able to stay present and stay with yourself and to tell yourself I'm safe, and not have something else taking you and competing with that mental chatter. And I know when I'm in yoga and I go to Shavasana, I don't like words in the Shavasana song. Like I always love it when the yoga teacher plays something very slow and no words, to actually sink into, you know, a meditation. But being able to relearn healthy touch, not even sexual touch, but like healthy touch with yourself before allowing someone else to touch you. And I know getting professional massages was part of my healing, was part of my sexual trauma healing, a big part of it. But I had to work up even to that, because that would have been terrifying at a younger age, right?
You know what? It's so funny you have mentioned this, because that is what come out of it for me in mastery. Some things happened to me as a child and young adult, but it's really interesting because I feel I really questioned myself. Should I say anything when we were going to be talking?
Oh,
I decided not to.
because I've spent a real lot of time mentioning it in the past. Um, I want to, how can I put this? Kind of, it's hard to say, but like kind of just emphasize the real importance, like, of that idea of melting into the skin. I want anyone to think that's possible. You know, I said to you, I was wired. I was completely wired, and I have managed it. I honestly believe anyone can, because I was wired for such a long time. So I do know it is really possible. I really do know it's possible, and it's sort of like, I want to really like stress and emphasize. I like the way you were saying that it's that how possible it is, even when it seems completely bleak and completely, you know, something that you might think is never on your horizon. It absolutely can be. That's how
100%. 100%. I agree fully. And it is it's just a relearning. And even if you haven't experienced traditional, whatever that means, sexual abuse or trauma, there's so many things in our culture that are, oh, it's like a punch to the gut if you're a woman, or if you're a man with any kind of expression of his feminine side. And I think that anybody, or even a man who is the ultimate expression of his masculine, you know, always 100% of the time, I think anyone can benefit from softening into themselves. And that word that you use, melt into your body, that's exactly, to me, what it feels like when I am safe with somebody else. So, and I think of, you know, my first experience of ultimate safety would be my grandmother's arms, you know, my grandma's hugs. That was a melting in. You just, you totally give way. And then, you know, maybe a lover or a friend that you just, their energy is so welcoming, and you just melt right into them. That's always a fabulous sign of feeling safe. And that is the first thing that needs to happen, not only to heal if you're in an intimate healing space, or if you're attending a group with me, or you're attending a group with you, you know, it's creating that safety. And then also in the sexual interaction, because at a certain point, there's only so much you can do on your own to heal your sexual trauma and to heal your nervous system. And then you're going to have to start to do it in partnership. And so it's having these even small tools to be able to do that. And absolutely healing, 100% recovery and more is possible in my opinion, because I think women that have gone through, or men, because I think now there's probably as many men as women now that men are actually speaking up about it, who have been abused. Now that they're actually meeting those demons, moving through and learning the tools to heal from that, it's actually has a potential to give you enhanced sexual response, enhanced sexual awareness, I should say, or sensual awareness, right? Because you're relearning stuff that maybe you never learned, even if you weren't abused.
Yeah. You know, something is I wanted to mention actually that came into my mind just a bit earlier ago in the conversation was, I can remember when I was a child, actually, oil wasn't that something that used to be in, like now you can buy a bottle of olive oil or whatever anywhere, but it didn't used to always be to get, well, it wasn't in Britain anyway. It wasn't, you just couldn't get it, you know, it was a big deal. And I can remember that my mom used to have like a tiny little bottle of some kind of presumably olive oil, and it was like for if any of us had earache, right? And it would be in a little cupboard in our bathroom. And I can remember that I used to take that and just like pour it down myself. I don't know how old I would be then, maybe 10. And I remember just like, oh, this is incredible. Oh, this is amazing. But I can really remember my mum one time going, hey, where's all the oil gone? You know, what's going to happen if anyone has an earache? You know, that kind of thing. I can really remember that. I do wonder if that was like a seed of like what I'm doing now, you know.
Yeah, it probably was. And you just gave me some homework to work on too. I think I want to try that now. I don't think I've, you know, quickly rubbed the oil in, but I don't think I've ever tried to like shower in it. I'll have to try that. Yeah, that sounds lovely.
Yeah.
That will be the second annual Oilathon.
Yeah. Have you ever done the one where you're lying down and they
pour it onto your forehead?
The treatment they do in India, I haven't, but I've heard about it. Yeah, it's like a
Me
hot
too.
oil on the third eye. Yeah.
I would love that. I've never had it done. I've just wondered if you have. I haven't. One day.
Yeah.
I will. One day.
Well, and it's interesting that you bring that up because in one of my courses, I studied Ayurvedic medicine. And so they teach you about dry skin brushing. And so I do have a dry skin brush. It's in my bathroom, hung up on the wall. I rarely use it anymore, but that's a great thing for not only smoothing your skin, but getting the lymph going and the circulation going. And it's supposed to help eliminate toxins and even cellulite. And then what they say to do is you do this dry skin brushing and then you do the self massage with the oil. So it's interesting to teach what or learn what you're doing, because I have done that oil self massage, but again, it's like rubbing it in as quick as I can so I can get into the shower, because you do it before the shower. But wow, like I can imagine combining this with the dry skin brushing too. So you're doing the dry skin brushing, the oils, which they use sesame usually, and then you can put essential oils in it, but just really slowing it down and then getting into the shower, and your skin just feels amazing after you,
Wow,
wash off the excess.
And you know what? The dry skin brushing would be amazing because that would help the essential oils get in quicker afterwards.
That makes sense then. That's why my skin always feels so good afterwards. Yeah, I mean, it's got multiple benefits, something like that. So it's so many different applications for this. I had no idea. What we were going to talk about. I trusted you. I trusted you that it would be good, but I really didn't know how deep it was going to go.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the time. We have about, we're about at that time, but is there anything else that you'd want to bring up or discuss or share about this practice?
No, I think that we've covered it pretty well. Yeah, I think we've covered it pretty well for everyone.
Okay. I actually have passion fruit cubes in my sparkling water. Water with, I don't know what kind of juice it is. I guess it's probably just lime and passion fruit. It's actually the cubes, but anyway, it's a little chewy. So if I have a black seed in my mouth, that's why. It's all passion. Just extra passion. Yeah, so tell people how to get a hold of you, what you got going on, how they can learn more. What's happening?
Okay, there's two ways that you can get in touch with me. Both of them are email addresses. One, if you want to do either one-to-one work or get on the list and find out about the different group activities that I'll be doing, it would be to contact me at, it's just called Oilathon, all lowercase, oilathon@gmail.com, and that's OILATHON. So oilathon@gmail.com. But the other thing I've been doing is I've written a joke book. I've adapted a joke book. I'll show you the cover. I thought everyone needs a laugh, and that's the cover. I don't know if you can see that.
The Laughing Pussy Joke Book, 250 goofy gags for pussy LOLing fun. Right. Well, tell me more about that.
So that is they're just like really, really, really goofy jokes. I'll tell you what, pick a number from 1 to 250 and I will tell you your joke.
Oh, it's got to be 111.
Right. Okay.
111.
111. And the joke is, I submitted a joke about astrology. It got.
Oh, perfect.
So I submitted a joke about astrology. It got 5 stars. So they're really kind of, just really goofy jokes. And but basically it's 5 so it's in British money. It's £5 for each joke. It gets sent to your email. You can have it on your mobile phone, so you can have jokes at your fingertips for your friends. Nice. And it's a 4-way fundraiser. So the money is going to be split between a charity for homeless people in London who they do artwork with the people. So it's kind of like thinking about their social well-being.
It's also going to a New York children's charity, doing research for doing, like, getting them all equipment for doing science projects and things like that. I wanted to do that as a kind of way of, like, a bridge between London and New York because of mastery, actually. And the other charity is called She's the First, which is an international charity for children's education, which is a really, really wonderful charity. And the fourth quarter is going, or the fourth 25% is going to go towards, I want to do a film of my work. And so it's going to go towards helping to fund the film. So I want to sell tons of them. So if anybody wants to buy one of those, it's the email is 10 million laughs. So it's 10 and then million, just an M, 10 million laughs @gmail.com. And I'll sort you out a copy that way.
So you just send you an email and say, I'd like to purchase a copy.
Yeah, and then I can send people a credit card link through PayPal. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. This was really delightful. I mean, my arms are feeling great right now. I got a couple other limbs to do now when the camera gets turned off.
Yeah, enjoy.
And I could see this just being a beautiful, easy, lovely tool to relax the nervous system, as well as bring in some self-love and learn to receive, and
Absolutely.
all of the, and in the mirror,
Absolutely. Don't forget that mirror. It's a game changer.
That's the advanced course.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Irene. It was really a pleasure, and please stay in touch.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Natasha.
Yeah, absolutely. All
All
right.
right.
Get good sleep.
Yeah, thanks.